These three girls stepped into a lift, chatting and laughing like normal, but when they arrived at the ground floor, they were shocked to find a solid wall completely blocking the exit. One girl wanted to push against it to see what was happening, but the others panicked, fearing the lift might drop, and begged her to stop. Desperate, they selected a different floor, but when they reached the second floor, another wall was blocking them. Terrified and confused, one of the girls called for help, and the operator assured them that assistance was on the way. Frustrated and running late for work, one girl took matters into her own hands. She rode the lift back down to the ground floor, inspected the barrier, and realized the wall sounded hollow. Gathering all her strength, she threw her full power into a massive push, smashed right through the fake wall, and realized the entire thing was just a massive prank. This twin sister decided to pull a crazy morning prank while her sister was busy washing her face in the bathroom. Right before her sister could look up at the mirror, the twin saw the perfect opportunity and stuck a terrifying ghost picture directly onto the glass. While her sister was completely distracted and focused on scrubbing her face, the twin quickly and quietly sneaked out of the room. When her sister finally finished rinsing off and opened her eyes to look in the mirror, she saw something she couldn't believe. After a super stressful day, this girl decided to unwind by watching a scary movie late at night, completely unaware that her twin sister was already home. Sensing the perfect opportunity, the twin snuck into the room with an air horn, waiting patiently for the absolute scariest part of the film. Once she was perfectly in position, she blasted the horn right during a massive jump scare. You seriously need to watch until the end to see her twin's priceless reaction. These roommates decided to pull a wild missing leg illusion on their friend while she was fast asleep. First, they carefully set up a prank by cutting her trousers, hiding her real leg under the mattress, and replacing it with a fake leg covered in pouring fake blood. Once everything was ready, they slammed an axe onto the floor to wake her up with a loud bang. Waking up to the sight of her missing leg and blood everywhere, she instantly started screaming in pure terror. Her other roommate rushed into the room, pretending to be completely shocked, and they both scrambled to clean up the mess and help her stand up to go to the hospital. But as they were helping her walk, one of the roommates accidentally stepped right on her hidden real leg. In that exact moment, the pain registered, the illusion broke, and she realized she had been completely pranked. After having a few drinks at a party, my twin sister and I headed to bed to get some sleep. Little did she know, my friend and I had planned a wild midnight prank. We decided to fake a ghost possession by making me look like I was levitating in midair, using a hidden chair to create the effect. To make it extra safe and look incredibly realistic, we draped a large blanket over the setup to hide the chair completely. Once the trap was set, I started making creepy, unnatural noises. At first, my sister didn't notice, but as the ghost sounds got louder, she finally woke up and saw me floating. She instantly panicked, screaming for help and trying to hide in the corner, but after a few moments, she noticed something strange. Gathered her courage and ripped the blanket away. You won't believe her reaction when she saw what was actually happening. Knowing our sister would be back from work late, my brother and I decided to prank her by making a hidden waterbed. We carried buckets of water back and forth to fill it up completely, hidden under her regular blanket and mattress. Suddenly, we heard a noise outside. Our sister was home early. We quickly scrambled to find a hiding spot to watch her reaction. At first, she noticed the floor was a bit wet, so she grabbed a mop from the bathroom to clean it up. Then, frustrated by some untidy clothes on her bed, she decided to clean those up first. Still completely oblivious to the giant water trap, she went to take a bath. When she came out, she was distractedly chatting with a friend on her phone. She walked over to her bed, completely unfocused, and the moment she threw herself down to lie down, this happened. My friend ordered some swimming pool equipment, which arrived as a massive stack of 4 incredibly tall delivery boxes. Little did the onlookers know, this was the classic falling boxes prank, where the boxes are actually taped together to create a fake tipping effect. The delivery driver, who was in on the joke, carefully walked through the pool area carrying the giant stack. The buyer saw him, told him to be extra careful, and led him toward the drop-off spot. Along the way, the driver kept pretending to lose his balance whenever they weren't looking to make sure the prank would land perfectly. Once they reached the location, the driver gasped that he was too tired and about to drop him. Another guy rushed in to save the day and catch the boxes, but because he was standing right on the edge of the pool, the boxes tipped forward, sending him losing his balance and diving straight into the water. It was all just a harmless prank to make everyone laugh. Do they deserve a like? My friend decided to pull a severed head prank on her sister using a clever paper illusion. She placed a printed face inside a giant jar and hid it deep in the back of the fridge. When her sister went to grab a snack, she didn't notice it at all. She was too busy chatting with my friend about which food items had gone bad and needed to be tossed out. As she started cleaning the entire fridge, she kept moving items around, yet somehow she still missed the jar. Even after my friend specifically asked her to grab something from the back, she remained completely oblivious. Finally, my friend told her, "Hey, can you grab those bananas from the back?" When she reached in and moved the items blocking the jar, she finally saw it. One day, this girl was sitting with her boyfriend, casually chatting while scrolling through videos of muscular, handsome guys on her phone. What she didn't realize was that her phone was accidentally connected to the living room TV via AirPlay. Every single thing she looked at was being broadcasted on the big screen. Suddenly, she got a nosebleed from staring at the handsome guys. When her boyfriend asked if she was okay, she nervously claimed it was just because she ate too much hot pot lately. To test her boyfriend started making specific comments about the muscular men on the TV. Panicking, she quickly flipped her screen to show him a mobile game, trying to play it off. But the second she turned away, she went right back to scrolling. Finally, her boyfriend dropped a major hint that triggered her attention. She looked up at the TV, realized her secret was out, and you won't believe her reaction. My brother is a hardcore gamer, so my sister and I decided to take advantage of his focus to pull off a legendary prank. We carefully set up a fake leg made with pillows and fabric and hid it perfectly under a blanket while he was locked into his game. Once the trap was set, we called him over to help my sister with a massage. At first, it was totally normal. He's massaging her shoulders and back, completely oblivious to the fact that one of the legs he's working on isn't real. When he finally moves down to the legs, he starts getting curious. He asks why the leg feels so stiff and tight. My sister plays it cool, saying, "Oh, I went shopping all day, and my muscles are just super tense." Keeps going, getting more aggressive with the massage. She suddenly yanks the fake leg out from under the blanket and holds it up.
Today I'm convincing my girlfriend that I've literally lost my head, and I'm using her to do it. I've got a balloon filled with fake blood hidden under my hoodie, positioned right where my head should be. I'm crouched behind the mirror, and she's sitting right there, completely distracted by her phone. I start fixing the mirror, acting totally obsessed with the repair. I start commanding tools. No, not that one. Too blunt. I need something sharp, something precise. She is getting so annoyed. She's just wanting me to finish so she can go back to her show. She has no idea she is literally handing me the tool that's about to cause a catastrophe. I finally grab the sharpest one she hands me. I lean toward her, acting exhausted and shaky. My head, it hurts so much, babe. Can you just massage it for me? I press the sharp tool into the balloon. It pops, and fake blood goes everywhere. I secretly snatched her slipper without her noticing, then asked her to hold it so I could test how sharp my new scissors were. She had no clue the slipper belonged to her and let me slice it piece by piece. At first she was confused why I'd ruin a random slipper. I lied and said I didn't need it anymore. It still never crossed her mind I was destroying her own footwear. As soon as I finished cutting, I bolted away fast. She stood up to walk and instantly realized one slipper was gone. Wait till you see her friends' shocked reactions. None of them warned her at all. Today I'm pulling an epic paper reality prank on my girlfriend by covering her MacBook, iPhone, and AirPods in paper to see how long it takes for her to lose it. I even have a massive surprise waiting for her at the end. First, she sat down at her desk and reached for her AirPods, but as soon as she picked them up, she realized they were just paper. She spotted me recording and immediately asked what was going on, jokingly trying to fit the paper AirPods into her real charging case. Next, she went to use her MacBook, but no matter how hard she clicked, or even after she unplugged the charger, nothing happened. She finally realized the entire screen was covered in a paper printout. When she reached for her phone to call someone for help, she immediately noticed that was paper too. Then came the ultimate surprise. Watch what happens when she tries to walk through that door. Today I decided to pull an epic prank on my boyfriend by using a pregnancy test as a popsicle stick. I carefully molded a popsicle around the handle of the test, and when he kept pestering me to help him with the dishes, I used that as my distraction. I rushed to the freezer and got a popsicle set just in time before he turned back around. The next day, I grabbed the treat, walked over to his bed, and woke him up by teasing his feet. He was pretty frustrated at being woken up, so I handed him the popsicle to calm him down. As he started eating, we were just chatting and laughing like normal. I casually mentioned how hot this summer has been and that he really needed something cold. He started getting suspicious as he got near the end of the stick. It just looked too strange. He took a closer look and realized exactly what he was holding, a pregnancy test. I immediately told him, "Congratulations, you're going to be a dad." He was in total shock, but as he kept licking the stick, he realized the test result was actually just painted on. Watch his hilarious reaction at the end when he realizes the truth. If you want to steal your friend's ride without him noticing, you have to be a master of distraction. Today, I'm pranking my friend by pretending my cardboard cutout is a brand new lottery-winning motorbike. I'm standing there with my cardboard creation, playing engine sounds from a speaker and trying to convince him I'm rich. He's roasting me, calling me crazy and telling me I need professional help. I keep him busy by making him take promotional photos for my fake bike. While he's busy laughing and taking pictures with his phone, I'm slowly closing the distance. I finally ask the magic question, "Hey, let me take your real bike for a quick spin." He's so distracted by my cardboard disaster that he doesn't even think twice. I hop on his green motorbike, rev the engine, and zoom, I'm gone. Smash that like button if you think I'm the worst friend ever. My sister and I decided to pull a terrifying haunted TV prank on my twin. We replaced the TV screen with a blank piece of black paper and hid my sister behind the unit with a speaker to control the voice commands. To make it even scarier, my sister dressed up in a spooky red ghost dress with full horror-style makeup. When my twin walked in, she tried to turn on the TV, but obviously it wouldn't work. She found it strange, but when the TV suddenly started responding to her with strange commands and eerie voice-controlled messages, she didn't realize it was a prank. She thought it was some kind of new, advanced tech. She started trying to use her own voice to override it, but of course it didn't work. Frustrated, she began poking around the TV, trying to check the internal parts. Just as she was about to look behind the screen, the ghost popped out and this happened. I am officially turning our apartment into a psychological experiment. Today, I'm convincing my girlfriend that she's accidentally moved into the wrong home. Phase 1, the disruption. I've changed the door number and hidden a speaker in her room to play random, annoying alarms. She wakes up furious and sees me just chilling there. She starts complaining about the noise, but I play it totally cool, acting like I have no idea what she's talking about. She goes back to sleep, completely confused. Phase 2, the disappearance. As soon as she's under, I change into a sporty outfit and slip out of the house. The goal? To make her think I'm not even home, even though she saw me there minutes ago. Phase 3, the gaslight. She wakes up again, totally disoriented. She walks to the door, sees the number is wrong, and panics. She tests the fingerprint scanner. It works, which makes it even weirder. She finds me arriving home and starts interrogating me about the number and the noise. I look at her like she's speaking a different language. What are you talking about? Are you okay? Phase 4, the switch. I quickly dash away and sneak out to switch the door number back to normal. Watch her face when she realizes she can't trust her own memory. I decided to pull an epic prank on my twin by putting her phone into a knife-shaped phone case. I then started using it to chop vegetables right in front of her. When she woke up and couldn't find her phone, she was struggling and asked to borrow mine to call hers. As soon as she dialed, her ringtone started playing, and I was right there, still chopping veggies with a knife phone. She searched the whole table and couldn't find the source of the sound. I pointed toward the fridge, sending her on a wild goose chase, but she found nothing. I even walked around the kitchen acting like the sound was moving. When the ringing stopped, I went back to chopping. She called again, and this time I casually left the knife phone right on the table. She picked it up, inspected it, and even held it while looking for her phone, still not realizing what it was. The look on her face when she finally notices the camera cutout and realizes the knife was her phone all along is priceless. Today, I decided to pull an extreme blender explosion prank on my twin right in the middle of our living room. I started by prepping a massive amount of ketchup to create a hyper-realistic blood effect. While she was busy tidying up behind me, I set up the blender on the coffee table, acting like I was making a special smoothie to keep her distracted. I kept the conversation going the whole time, carefully making sure she stayed a few feet away. The hardest part was filling a balloon with ketchup and hiding it inside the blender without her noticing. She kept asking why I was using a blender in the living room, but I managed to keep her off guard. Once everything was perfectly set, I dropped a ketchup-filled balloon into the machine and counted down to 3. I turned the blender on full power and ketchup exploded everywhere, covering the living room in what looked like a total disaster. Watch her priceless reaction at the end. While she was asleep, we covered her nose with gauze stained with fake blood to make it look like she just had cosmetic surgery. When she woke up and saw the bandages, she was panicked and immediately demanded to know what happened. To keep the lie going, my friend showed her a small bone, telling her it was removed from her nose, which completely shocked her. We even used fake blood and a medical scar on her stomach to make it look like a full operation. She was so overwhelmed that she actually passed out. When she came to, she immediately called her mom in a panic, but her mom was in on the prank too. Her mom calmly told her, "It's the cost of beauty, honey, just get some rest." Thinking it was all real, she went back to her room to sleep. We then took the prank further by wrapping her leg in gauze to make it look like she'd had even more work done. When she finally woke up again, she was starving. We baited her with our latest home-cooked meal, a pork bone dish, and she loved it, asking how we made it taste so good. Then, I showed her a large bone, implying it came from her own body, and you won't believe her reaction at the end.
One day, my sister went for a peaceful picnic at the park, looking forward to a relaxing afternoon. Little did she know, her twin and I snuck up right next to her tree, carrying a giant mirror to perfectly camouflage ourselves behind it. While she was taking a nap, my twin used a long stick to gently poke her nose and face. She stirred a bit, but didn't wake up yet. That's when I upgraded our tools, using a sort of white cream to pretend a bird had just pooped right on her head. She finally woke up, highly annoyed, while we instantly hid behind our mirror illusion, desperate to stop the birds. She put on a large hat to protect herself, but my twin cleverly snuck over, slightly lifted the edge of the hat, and sprayed more fake poop directly onto her. Completely frustrated, she jumped up, turned around, and looked straight into our giant mirror. Terrified and confused by the sudden reflection out of nowhere, she panicked and sprinted away from the scene. With the coast clear, my twin and I just grabbed her entire setup of picnic food and walked away. What a massive surprise. Give her a like to comfort her after losing her lunch. I decided to pull a terrifying kitchen jump scare on my girlfriend while pretending to prepare a nice meal for her. I took a creepy Halloween mask, stuffed it to look like a realistic severed head, and placed it right inside a large cooking pot. To make it look incredibly realistic, I generated some fake smoke inside the pot and quickly covered it with the lid so it looked piping hot. Then, I casually called her into the kitchen, telling her that the soup was ready and she should come scoop it up. She walked in completely unsuspecting, looking around for a soup spoon, but that's when the ultimate surprise hit. The exact second she lifted the lid, she saw the terrifying face staring back at her through the smoke. Like and subscribe to show her some support after that absolute heart attack. The moment I tried to wake my sister up with a giant bell, my dad rushed in to save her and stopped me. To get him on my side, I handed him a cigarette pack as a bribe, but he claimed he already had enough until I opened the lid to show it was stuffed full of cash. Instantly changing his mind, my dad grabbed the bell and started ringing it to wake her up himself. When my mom and sister realized what was happening, they stormed in to argue with us, but I was prepared. I handed my mother a container full of money too, and she immediately joined my side. My mom then tied my sister up and hilariously pranked her with a giant bell. After a while, my sister tried to go back to sleep, but our parents were already hiding, waiting for her, dragging her straight out by her feet when she finally tried to come back for the ultimate revenge. You won't believe what happened. Like and subscribe if you love your family too. I came up with a genius prank by splashing a couple of cups of water right onto my twin sister's pants while she was fast asleep. After setting the trap, I climbed back into bed and pretended to sleep right next to her. A few minutes later, she felt something strange, woke up, and realized her pants and the mattress were completely soaked. Terrified of the embarrassment, she quickly covered everything up with a blanket. Just as I pretended to wake up, I asked her why she was acting so weird and demanded to see what she was hiding. The moment I pulled the blanket back, I exposed the massive wet spot. I immediately teased her, asking if she had been out drinking the night before and accidentally wet the bed. She got super defensive, arguing that she's an adult and there's no way she would lose control like that. But as the argument heated up, she noticed something wasn't right. The wet spot had absolutely no smell. Right then, I accidentally knocked over the empty cup I used for the prank. She looked down, spotted the evidence, and instantly realized she'd been framed. Drop a like to save her from the ultimate embarrassment. I decided to pull a hilarious fake plastic rock prank on my sister while she was fast asleep. Suddenly, my dad walked in and tried to stop me, but I quickly bribed him with a giant lollipop. He instantly let go of the rock, dropping it right onto my sister to blast her awake. Furious, my sister vowed to get revenge, grabbing the giant fake rock to smash it onto my foot while I was under the covers. But little did she know, it was actually my mom resting there. As my mom jumped up in pain, she grabbed a giant fake prop knife to hilariously chase her back. After the chaos settled and my sister tried to go back to sleep, I handed her a red pocket full of cash and asked her to help our parents make dumplings. She immediately dressed up like a professional chef ready to cook, but just as she started, the most unexpected thing happened. Drop a like and subscribe to save her. One day, my brother and I decided to pull the ultimate movie-style stunt prank on my sister in a parking lot. I told her I had to slide underneath the car for an emergency maintenance check. The moment she walked away to grab some tools from the trunk, we rushed to set up the trap. We took a pair of pants and shoes, stuffed them with towels to create a pair of hyper-realistic fake legs, and slid them under the chassis. When she came back, looking tired and stressed, I was already hiding on the other side of the vehicle while the fake legs stuck out, making it look like I was hard at work. I called out to her, asking for a pair of scissors, and the moment she handed them over, I blasted her with a hidden water gun from across the car. Though frustrated, she kept handing me different tools to get the job done. Finally, I shouted that the fix was complete and we were ready to go. That's when the real madness started. My brother started the engine, shifted into drive, and ran completely over the fake legs. My sister let out a blood-curdling scream and instantly burst into tears of pure horror. But right at that exact second, I tapped her on the shoulder, completely alive and smiling right behind her. Drop a like and subscribe to show her some major comfort.
One day, my twin sister and her boyfriend decided to pull a terrifying fake head prank on our sister. First, the boyfriend hid completely under the kitchen table, placing a whole watermelon on top and pulling a hoodie over it to perfectly replicate a fake head slumped on the counter. To set up the chaos, my twin grabbed a heavy hammer, pretending she was ready to smash his head in. Our sister walked in casually eating an apple, spotted the setup, and assumed the boyfriend was just passed out drunk. She tried to wake him up, putting her apple down on the table. When she saw my twin raising the hammer, she frantically tried to stop her. To intimidate her, my twin swung the hammer down and completely obliterated the apple instead, before placing a fresh one on the table. While our sister ran to the bathroom in a panic, my twin quickly inflated a balloon near the head to add to the tension. When our sister rushed back in to check on him, she was terrified but courageously tried to shield the boyfriend. My twin then smashed a bag of chips on the table to ramp up the fear, before doing the ultimate crazy move. She raised the hammer and violently smashed the watermelon to pieces. Our sister's reaction was absolutely mind-blowing.
He tried to prank my sister by balancing a glass cup on the handle of the garden glass door and placing her brand new iPad directly on the patio floor underneath it, so that the moment she opened the door from the yard, the cup would shatter right onto the screen. Locked outside, she looked through the glass door, spotted the trap, and screamed at him to stop. To add to the intense drama, I stepped in and cracked a raw egg right into the balanced cup, followed by spraying her expensive perfume straight inside. She completely panicked. Looking for any way inside, she spotted an open window on the side of the house, but I quickly slammed it shut right before she could climb through. To take the psychological warfare even further, I slowly began stacking her favorite lipsticks right on top of the iPad screen, right in front of her eyes. Begging him to open up from the garden, her panic hit a level 10 when he didn't hold back and poured beer directly into the cup on the handle. Then, I placed her brand new phone right on top of the pile. As the ultimate cherry on top, I grabbed a heavy hammer and started fake dropping it, stopping just inches away from the iPad and lipsticks to absolutely terrify her. She was completely furious. Her emotions toyed with every time the hammer stopped. But you won't believe what my sister did next. Drop a like to show her some major respect for her bravery. I decided to pull the ultimate wake-up nightmare on my twin sister by hiding alarm clocks absolutely everywhere in her bedroom. At first, she only noticed the one right next to her bed, but as soon as she turned it off, another one went off. She reached down to check her pants, only to find a third alarm buzzing right inside her pocket. At this point, she was already incredibly annoyed because this was her only rest day of the week. But when she turned around to lay back down, she saw a dozen more alarm clocks lined up right behind her pillow. She furiously knocked every single one of them down to shut them up. Just when she thought it was finally over and tried to rest, more alarms started blaring from the floor and her makeup table, completely surrounding her. Exhausted and losing her mind, she suddenly heard a loud buzzing coming from inside her dressing closet. She stormed over, shut them all down, and prayed for peace. But as she crawled back into bed, she felt a massive vibration underneath her, discovering a giant cluster of alarm clocks taped together right under her mattress. But you won't believe where I hid the absolute final one. Drop a like to finally give her some rest. I decided to pull a shocking fake injury prank on my twin sister using a realistic stretchable trick knife while we were preparing dinner together. As she was cooking, I started recklessly chopping a cucumber to grab her attention. Terrified I was going to hurt myself, my twin immediately stepped forward and offered to take over, pointing out that I didn't know what I was doing. I insisted on doing it myself and told her not to worry. That's when the trap was set. The trick knife expands to reveal a hidden hole for a hand to slip through, making it look like the blade is jammed straight through your arm. I lined it up, squeezed a hidden pouch of fake blood, and let out a blood-curdling scream. My twin completely panicked, rushing over in pure shock. She immediately tried using her own clothes to wrap my wound and stop the bleeding. To turn up the drama, I started acting dizzy from blood loss. She was so terrified that she literally tried to lift me up to carry me to the hospital. I weakly told her to just pull the knife out first. As the tension peaked, she slowly pulled the blade away, only to realize her hand was slipping right through a rubber hole. Her reaction said it all. These roommates decided to pull a wild missing leg illusion on their friend while she was fast asleep. First, they carefully set up a prank by cutting her trousers, hiding her real leg under the mattress, and replacing it with a fake leg covered in pouring fake blood. Once everything was ready, they slammed an axe onto the floor to wake her up with a loud bang. Waking up to the sight of her missing leg and blood everywhere, she instantly started screaming in pure terror. Her other roommate rushed into the room, pretending to be completely shocked, and they both scrambled to clean up the mess and help her stand up to go to the hospital. But as they were helping her walk, one of the roommates accidentally stepped right on her hidden, real leg. In that exact moment, the pain registered, the illusion broke, and she realized she had been completely pranked. This girl decided to pull a heart-stopping prank on her sister by pretending to put their pet hamster into a blender. In reality, it was just a white balloon filled with ketchup. While her sister was busy preparing dinner, the prankster openly played with the real hamster right in front of her, fake threatening to put it in the machine. After several attempts, the sister finally dropped her guard and got distracted. That's when the prankster swapped the hamster for the balloon and hit the power switch. Her sister was absolutely horrified. Watch until the end to see her hilarious reaction when she realizes it was all a joke. This girl decided to prank her friend by putting a piece of hard, dry pasta in her mouth to mimic the sound of a snapping neck. First, she started working out with dumbbells to get her friend's attention. But during her first attempt, the pasta kept falling out of her mouth. To get it back without being caught, she had to distract her friend by shouting that there was a huge spider on the wall. Once she successfully reloaded the prank, she asked her friend to help stretch out her stiff neck and shoulders. That's when the terrifying crunch happened. These two girls decided to prank their friend by burying a water bucket right under the sand while she was busy taking photos on the beach. First, they quietly used a shovel to dig a deep hole, making sure the entire process was completely silent. Their next mission was to fetch some ocean water from the shoreline, carefully moving only when their friend wasn't looking. Once the trap was fully set, they called her over for a chat. After talking for a bit to gain her trust, they guided her to step over to that exact spot. And then, this happened. This woman decided to prank her roommate by using an incredibly long tube to drink what she claimed was just orange juice. suspicious, the roommate began following the mysterious winding tube through the house to find the source. To her absolute horror, the tube led straight into the toilet. She was completely disgusted by what she had just tasted, but it turns out the prankster was just as shocked. The original setup was supposed to be orange juice, but someone must have switched it. The roommate was so furious she actually hit her. But in the end, they made up with an apology and a promise of a nice dinner to make up for the gross out. These two sisters decided to go metal detecting on the beach, and what they unearthed at the very end will leave you speechless. After digging deep into the sand, they were ready to give up. But one sister insisted they keep going. Suddenly, they struck gold. A mysterious box wrapped tightly in canvas. Anxious to see what was inside before anyone else noticed, they struggled to pry it open, eventually using an axe to smash through the top. Inside, they discovered an incredible hoard of rare coins dating back to the 1800s. Even crazier, nestled right on top was a stunning jade necklace worth millions. But you seriously won't believe the final item they pulled out at the very end. This girl decided to pull a wild missing organ prank on her older sister while she was asleep. First, she placed a realistic fake scar sticker on her sister's stomach, poured fake blood over it, and sealed it with a medical bandage. When the older sister woke up, she was instantly horrified by the bloody wound. She got furious, blaming her sister for letting someone take her liver while she was passed out, as she started to panic and feel phantom pain. Her sister called a doctor on FaceTime for medical advice. Little did she know, the doctor was actually in on the joke and began explaining the fake injury to make it even more believable. But the illusion quickly fell apart when she finally peeled back the bandage. Felt absolutely no pain and realized she had been completely fooled. This girl decided to pull a terrifying zombie prank on her boyfriend right before they went to sleep. At first, her boyfriend didn't notice anything unusual, but then she started behaving very strangely. She began making creepy, unnatural movements, sitting up and lying down as if she were possessed by a ghost. Unsettled and scared, her boyfriend watched in horror as she twisted her arms and legs like a creature from a movie, totally terrified. He finally got a clear look at her face and saw the horrifying zombie makeup. He immediately tried to escape the bed, but as she lunged closer, he completely passed out from fear. This guy decided to pull a classic doorbell prank on his sister using a Bluetooth speaker controlled by his phone. He hid right under a table near the front door, blasting the doorbell sound to annoy her. At first, his sister kept opening the door, only to find absolutely no one there. By the second and third time, she got so annoyed she realized something didn't add up. Spotting her brother hiding under the table, she decided not to call him out, but to pull a reverse prank instead. While her brother was completely oblivious and still tapping his phone, she quietly climbed onto the table with a plate of whipped cream. Once she was in position, this happened. After getting hit by actual bird poop, this girl rushed home to wash her hair immediately, completely forgetting to even take her clothes off. First, she was so focused on cleaning her head that she didn't realize her twin sister was already hiding in the bathroom. Seizing the opportunity, the twin pulled the ultimate unlimited shampoo prank, secretly squirting more soap onto her head every time she tried to rinse it off. No matter how hard she scrubbed, the bubbles just kept coming. Watch until the end to see her hilarious reaction when she finally realizes her twin has been standing right behind her the whole time. Just keep watching. Who's behind the door? At first, this guy started randomly cutting his sister's dress under the excuse of helping her style it. He sliced right through the middle, leaving the dress in two separate pieces with a really strange layout. His sister was completely confused, especially when he told her to take the bottom half and pull it all the way up to her chest. She trusted his vision, took it off, and let him adjust it until he successfully transformed the fabric into a pair of tight shorts. Then, he started cutting into the middle section again to expose her stomach while stripping the sides of the top piece to change the fit. Keep watching, because you won't believe how it looks at the end. Finally, he trimmed the bottom edge of the top piece to perfectly expose the new shorts underneath. And wow, the final results are absolutely insane. Does he deserve a like for this fashion flip? My sister and I decided to pull a shocking fake tongue prank on her twin sister using a fork game. While her twin was busy preparing some fruit for us, she noticed we were playing a dangerous game with the fork and warned me to be careful. To build up a sense of urgency, we kept teasing her until my sister suddenly let out a massive scream. Pretending the fork had sliced right into her tongue, her twin panicked when she saw the injury and got furious at me, instantly rushing over to help. She frantically ran to the freezer and grabbed a frozen fish to press against my sister's mouth to numb the pain. She was so incredibly worried that even when my sister literally pulled the fake tongue out of her mouth to explain how to fix it, her twin was too stressed to notice it was rubber. But after a few moments of chaos, she accidentally grabbed the fake tongue and pulled it completely out herself. Realizing how completely fooled she was, her jaw dropped. I decided to pull the ultimate double baldness prank on my family. While my sister was fast asleep, I used a realistic bald cap to make it look like she was shaved completely bald. Meanwhile, my dad was getting ready to wash his hair with a giant bottle of shampoo. I secretly swapped it out for a fake product that also made him look completely bald, but they had no idea I was the mastermind behind it all. As panic set in, I quickly framed my sister, telling my mom it wasn't her fault and that my sister must have messed with the bottles. Furious, my mom stormed in and woke my sister up. Completely disoriented, my sister looked in the mirror only to see herself bald. To take the chaos a step further, I had placed a giant bell next to her bed the night before, which my mom immediately started ringing loudly as a hilarious punishment. Desperate for revenge, my sister grabbed a real shaver and marched into my bedroom to shave me back. But the second she stepped inside, my mom and dad were already waiting in my bed. I woke them up. They saw their ruined hair, looked directly at my sister holding the shaver, and realized she was caught red-handed. Smash that like button to save her from this ultimate setup. My sister was chilling on a park bench, eating snacks with her juice sitting right beside her. I brought a second bottle of the exact same juice and snuck it onto the bench. While my sister was distracted, my girlfriend walked up and casually grabbed the original juice. I quickly hid to watch the chaos unfold. My sister immediately noticed, thought her drink was being stolen, and started complaining loudly. My girlfriend fired back, saying, "If you can't afford a drink, I can just buy you one. There's no need to accuse me of stealing." Their heated argument got so intense that a random stranger nearby got curious and started filming the whole thing on her phone. Getting tired of the drama, my girlfriend said, "What proof do you even have that I stole it?" and walked away. As my sister turned around to leave, her jaw dropped. She finally spotted the second identical juice bottle sitting right next to her the whole time. She felt so guilty for accusing her. Give her a like to make her feel better after that massive misunderstanding. While my sister was busy preparing a meal, my twin and I decided to pull a shocking fake hamster blender prank on her. First, we created a decoy hamster using a balloon filled with ketchup, drawing a little face on it and hiding it under a tissue. Then, we brought out our real hamster to show her how cute it was as she started cooking. To build up the tension, we began messing around near the blender and even popped the real hamster inside for a second with the power completely off. Furious, our sister warned us to stop playing around and be careful. To keep the animal safe, she took a hamster and placed it securely inside a jar. But the moment she turned her back, we took it out and put it right back in the blender. Angrily, she moved the hamster away again, lecturing us to never play with animals. That's when the trap was set. We quickly switched the real hamster for the ketchup balloon decoy. As she went right back to cutting vegetables, we pushed the button and splat. Bright red ketchup splattered all over the inside of the blender. While my sister was asleep, I secretly used ink to draw footprints all over her feet and stamped them along the walls to create an undeniable trail of fake evidence. Once the illusion was set, I woke our mother up and handed her a mirror to show her what my sister did. Furious, my mother immediately stormed into my sister's room and woke her up with pure rage. Completely confused, my sister woke up only to see her own feet and the walls covered in ink footprints.
他竟然在墙上走了一圈。
And right then, she knew I was behind it. To add to the chaos, I handed my mother a giant fake spanner to hilariously punish her. As my sister frantically tried to escape the room, she reached for the door, but I had already rigged the door handle. One day, my twin sister and I decided to build a wooden home for our pet bantam chick. I secretly planned a wild prank by creating a decoy bantam using a realistic prop stuffed with a balloon full of fake blood. Earlier, my sister had warned me to be extra gentle with the bird, but she soon got distracted by her phone. I tried to set up the trap, but she suddenly walked over to check on my progress, forcing me to quickly hide the decoy and pretend I was working. Frustrated that I had spent the whole day only hammering in a single nail, she complained, so I told her to be patient and convinced her to go order some milk tea to help us relax. Once she went back to the sofa to scroll on her phone, I set the trap and started pretending to clumsily handle the fake bird, tossing it up and down. Finally, with everything in position, I counted down from 3, 2, 1, and smashed the decoy with a hammer. The balloon burst, splattering red syrup all over the plate. Hearing the noise, my twin rushed over in pure shock. She held the decoy, looking incredibly sad and furious that I hadn't listened to her warning. That's when I pulled out the real bantam to show her it was completely safe, and you won't believe her reaction. In the morning, I decided to pull a wild frame-up prank on my sister by painting her feet with ink and making our mother think she had gone out drinking the night before. While my mother was busy eating a giant Oreo, I showed her the fake evidence.
这个别吃了，昨儿我姐又喝多了。
Furious, my mom immediately marched into my sister's bedroom to punish her.
我姐喝多，竟然拿你来练武功。
After a while, my sister realized I was behind it and decided to get her revenge while I was resting in bed. She snuck in with ink, trying to paint my feet while I slept. But little did she know, it was actually our dad resting under the blanket next to me, and she was painting him instead.
这也太过分
He
了！
woke up furious and punished her right there in the bedroom. After she finally explained what happened, she and my dad teamed up to take the ultimate revenge on me. But the prank completely backfired. Watch until the end to see what happened. While she was fast asleep, I cut up her black stockings, stretched them over her head, and taped some strange objects into her hands. Then, I headed to the living room, where my mom was casually eating a giant lollipop, and told her what happened.
姐昨儿又喝多了，你赶紧去看看吧。
Furious, my mom marched straight into her room to wake her up and punish her. I placed a close stool right on her bed. Desperate for revenge, my sister later grabbed the cut-up stockings and snuck into my bedroom, planning to force them onto my head while I slept. The second she approached the bed, I flipped the lights on and woke up our parents,
好姐，
who were secretly sleeping in my room. She was instantly busted, and my frame-up prank worked flawlessly. But when she frantically turned around to escape the room, this happened. Just keep watching. Who's behind the door? I decided to pull a wild fake blood prank on my twin sister while she was washing her hair in the bathroom.
怎么还跟咱吃饭呢？
Standing right next to her, I kept telling her to hurry up. Since her eyes were closed, I slowly began pouring the fake blood onto her head without her noticing, gradually adding more and more. Then, I started acting completely freaked out to add to the drama, shouting, "Oh my god, there's blood dripping all over the floor!" She instantly panicked and started screaming, frantically trying to scrub her hair and clean herself up. As she struggled to wash it away, I secretly poured even more fake blood, so it seemed impossible to get rid of. Terrified and feeling sick, she told our brother she needed to go to the hospital right away. She stumbled over to the mirror to inspect where the wound was coming from, but couldn't find a single scratch. But a second later, she noticed the blood tasted sweet, and the realization hit her that she had been completely pranked. My friend decided to pull the ultimate near-death prank on his girlfriend. First, he placed a bucket of dry ice and water under the bed to create a thick, eerie mist that made the room look like it was straight out of a horror movie. To make the illusion even more unsettling, he placed a fake baby doll right beside her. Once everything was set, he hid in his red ghost costume and began waking her up. When she finally opened her eyes and saw the mist swirling around her and the doll, she immediately started screaming for help. Her boyfriend then lunged out as the red ghost, completely freaking her out. During the struggle, she accidentally ripped off his fake white wig, causing him to instantly hide his face in his shirt. That's when she noticed something strange, realized the ghost was actually her boyfriend, and the chaos turned into pure laughter. One day, my roommate came home early and sneakily headed straight back to her room. I happened to be in there checking to see if I had lost my phone, and to avoid getting caught, I quickly ducked behind the door the exact second she walked in. That's when I uncovered her biggest secret. She began peeling back the blankets and mattress, layer by layer, to reveal a hidden stash of cash. Her entire life savings. It was wild to watch her pull money from different parts of her body, where she had hidden her salary, and stack it into the bed. Once she carefully hid the money again and left the room, I immediately opened up the mattress to check. I was so stunned that I called my twin over to take a look. And right then and there, a crazy idea popped into our heads. These two sisters decided to experiment with oobleck, a crazy substance that can be molded into almost anything. While hanging out at the beach, they used their hands and feet together to press into the sand to create a perfect mold, but then they accidentally dropped their phone right into the mix. They had to hold completely still for a while to let the mold shape up perfectly. People walking by on the beach were so confused, staring at them and wondering what on earth they were doing. Once the outer mold was complete, they carefully poured the oobleck inside to capture the exact shape of the objects. They let the whole project sit and cool down under the sun. Once it was completely dry, they carefully peeled away the outer layer to reveal the final shape. Finally, it was time for the ultimate test to see if the buried phone actually still worked. One of the sisters tried calling it and even shouted, "Hey Siri," to see if it would function. Leave a like if you want to try with your friends too. I decided to pull a unique squeaky door prank on my sister by leaning myself against the door to mimic a loud creaking hinge. When she came in to clean my bedroom floor, she opened the door and was instantly confused by the strange noise. She started opening and closing it several times, while I carefully timed the squeaks to match her movements. Baffled, my sister called our twin over to investigate. But even she found the door completely bizarre, as they kept testing it back and forth. Eventually, the twins' friend called her away for food, leaving my sister alone. Suspicious that I was secretly behind the whole thing, she decided to pull an unthinkable move. She began opening and closing the door faster and faster until I couldn't keep up the rhythm. Then, she delivered the ultimate move by slamming the door hard a few times. The sudden force completely threw off my balance, and my heavy weight sent me crashing straight down to the floor in pain. I decided to pull the ultimate morning gauntlet prank on my twin sister by setting up 5 different traps throughout her routine. First, I stretched clear tape across the bathroom doorway for her to walk into. Second, I hid crunchy crackers under the floor mat, so the loud snapping sound completely freaked her out the moment she stepped down, making her scream. For the third trap, I balanced a pile of orange powder on top of her closet door. Right then, our brother walked in and started complaining about her untidy clothes, frustrating her into cleaning them up. But when she opened the closet door, she luckily dodged the falling powder, leaving her feeling relieved and proud of her quick reflexes. Thinking she was safe, she headed toward her bed, but accidentally triggered some hidden pop snaps that went off with a loud bang, making her jump. Exhausted, she finally threw herself down onto the mattress, instantly triggering the 4th trap, massive explosion of hidden powder and loud cracker pops. Screaming and jumping up, she spotted me recording and charged over to catch me, but the 5th and final trap finished her off. A hidden layer of soap on the floor that sent her sliding out. One day, this girl noticed a bizarre string sticking out of her twin sister's stomach. Overcome by curiosity and panic, she started pulling at it, terrified that it might be a live worm. As she struggled to get it out, she frantically asked her twin what happened. Her twin casually replied that she had visited a river earlier, so a bug or parasite must have attached itself to her. Terrified, the sister begged her to go to the hospital, but her twin insisted, "No, I'll be fine, just pull it out." After a bit of stressful trial and error, she brutally yanked the rest of the string free, feeling a massive wave of relief, but as she inspected the worm, she realized it was just a normal piece of string. Confused, she reached out and touched her twin's belly, only to realize her sister was wearing a realistic fake muscle stomach underneath the whole time. Does she deserve a like after putting her through all that? I decided to pull the ultimate fake poop prank on my twin sister using melted chocolate while she was washing her face in the morning. I kept yelling at her to hurry up because I was running late for work and needed the bathroom. To rush her, I handed her a towel that I had secretly smeared with poop on the inside. Still completely blind with water in her eyes, she took a towel and wiped it all over her face. When she opened her eyes and saw her reflection, she realized her face was covered in it and immediately started gagging, looking like she was going to puke. She froze in absolute horror, furious at me and unable to believe what had just happened. But after a few seconds of panic, she noticed a sweet smell, licked her lip, and realized it was actually chocolate all along. Her final reaction was absolutely shocking. While she was fast asleep, we carefully set up the illusion by placing fake couple photos of me and her friend on the nightstand, whiting her phone records, and even switching out the matching couple toothbrushes. When she woke up, my friend was receiving a delivery, and I casually called her friend Baby. The twin was instantly shocked and panicked when she noticed the romantic photos of us. She immediately scrambled to check her phone for proof of our actual relationship, but found absolutely nothing. Her jaw dropped further when she saw that the ring I gave her was now on her friend's finger, making her furious at her twin. In a last-ditch effort for a reality check, she ran to the bathroom to inspect the couple toothbrushes, and even those had been swapped. Overwhelmed and exhausted by the entire situation, she stormed over to the sofa to rest and suddenly called her boyfriend. We were completely stunned by what was happening, only to realize the prank had backfired completely and she was actually cheating the whole time. This sister decided to prank her older sister by setting an entire obstacle course of traps. First, she placed 1,000 cups all over the bathroom floor. To make sure her sister actually went to the bathroom, she added a little tummy-rumbling medicine to her drink while she was practicing yoga. But that wasn't all. She set 2 more traps along the way, a clear tape barrier in the hallway to catch her face, and a floor covered in soap to make her slip. When she finally reached the bathroom door and opened it, this was her reaction. Her brother planned an elaborate prank to trick his sister into believing she had lost both her legs. He prepared everything quietly while she was still asleep, carefully cutting away her trousers and hiding her actual legs beneath the mattress. He then smeared realistic fake blood all over the area to make the scene look utterly convincing. Once the setup was complete, he woke her up to witness her genuine reaction. At first, she felt nothing out of the ordinary, but panic quickly washed over her when she realized she could no longer feel her legs. Overwhelmed with terror, she let out frightened screams. To make the hoax even more believable, they presented her with a forged medical report, and even tossed a prosthetic fake leg toward her to amplify her fear. After being plunged into sheer panic for a while, she gradually fully came to her senses and finally realized that the entire terrifying experience was nothing more than a cruel prank. This girl decided to prank her older sister during a peaceful backyard picnic by using a giant truck made out of cardboard. While her older sister was quietly sleeping against a tree, she snuck up and placed the cardboard truck right behind her. Next, she leveled up the prank by tickling her with a bird feather and adding some fake bird poop to make it look extra real. Her brother actually called her phone mid-nap. She just told him not to interrupt her sleep and drifted right back off. Seizing the moment, the sister added even more fake bird poop when the older sister finally woke up. She assumed it was all coming from a bird in the tree and started throwing picnic snacks upward to attack it. That's when the massive surprise came. The sister blasted a loud horn, and her reaction was absolutely hilarious. She decided to prank her boyfriend by covering his entire room in bang snaps. Not just the floor, but every single surface. When he returned, his reaction was absolutely hilarious. Even his roommate got caught in the crossfire and was instantly startled by the noise. As the boyfriend desperately tried to tidy up, he kept getting shocked every time he moved an object. Just when he thought he had finally cleared the mess, he realized the nightmare was just beginning, because the biggest surprise was hidden right under his blanket. The younger sister crafted a heart-stopping prank using a stretchable fake knife, planning to fool her elder sibling while they prepared dinner together. She fully prepped the tricky prop and practiced the movements repeatedly to pull off the stunt flawlessly. To build suspense, she casually chopped cucumbers nearby, drawing her older sister's attention. Concerned for her safety, the elder sister gently reminded her to stay careful with the sharp tool. Right after the warning, the prank officially began. She swiftly swung the retractable knife against her wrist, and vivid fake blood instantly streamed down. Her older sister was utterly stunned, frozen on the spot, and completely lost for what to do. Keep watching until the final moment to uncover this shocking playful trick. While her younger sister lay fast asleep, the elder sibling hatched a creepy prank, pretending to surgically remove her liver. Used real pig liver paired with lifelike fake blood smeared across her left abdomen. Upon waking and spotting the organ, the girl was filled with intense disgust. She ended up storing the supposed extracted liver in the fridge, thinking she might reattach it someday. From then on, she suffered constant physical discomfort in daily life, all brought on purely by psychological fear. Later, their brother cooked up a meal unaware of what the meat actually was. The shocking moment arrives when the girl realizes exactly what she is eating. Her boyfriend decided to prank her by secretly tying a rope from her shoe to a stack of plates while she and her sister were busy chatting, hiding quietly under the desk so he wouldn't be heard. He struggled with the knot until the trap was finally set. Once the setup was complete, he baited her into walking toward him. Then, this happened. This girl pulled a mind-bending psychological prank on her sleeping older sister by turning her room into a wedding venue, complete with red decor and a bridal gown. The goal: trick her into thinking she had time traveled into the future to get married. When her sister woke up, she was completely shocked. And even their father was in on the joke. Overwhelmed, she forced herself back to sleep, hoping it was all a dream. But the next stage of the prank was already waiting. When she woke up again, she was introduced to a little girl who happily called her Mommy. Though terrified at first, she slowly began to accept her new life. Until she went back to sleep again. This time, she woke up to find her daughter was already a full-grown adult. All she wanted to do was escape reality. This sister started the morning by putting salad cream on her twin. As her sister rushed to the bathroom to clean up, the prankster set up 2 more traps. She covered the doorway with clear plastic wrap to make her sister hit it and struggled to get out. For the cherry on top, she poured oil on the floor just outside the door. Watch how the prank unfolded. After falling for every single trap, the twin was convinced their brother was behind it and went looking for revenge. Watch until the end to see the fallout. His girl swung a baseball bat right at the TV and it completely shattered. But wait, it was actually a genius prank on her sister to see how she'd react. When her sister saw the broken screen, she was absolutely devastated and instantly started swinging at her. She tried crying for help, but when she realized no one was coming, she got furious and fought back even harder. After a tense moment, the real twist happened. It totally shocked her to find out the TV was perfectly fine. And the shattered screen was just a video playing with a scary jump scare face at the end.
My sister and I decided to pull an epic camouflage prank on her brother by hiding a large bucket of water mixed with paint directly inside the couch cushions. We wrapped and covered it up neatly so the trap blended perfectly into the sofa. Once everything was set, we called him over to sit down while he was casually eating a cup of noodles. We originally tried to get him to sit right in the middle, but he was completely unwilling to cooperate and chose to sit on a nearby chair instead. To force him onto the couch, we secretly made the chair wet and took it away. But he was so stubborn about not following orders that he sat right next to me on the edge to avoid the center. To distract him, we started chatting and got him to stand up for just a split second. The moment he lowered himself back down, he missed his safe spot and fell directly into our trap. You won't believe the absolute mess that happened next. A guy decided to get revenge on his friend for constantly borrowing his car without asking. He snuck up to the vehicle and shoved 2 rubber toy chickens deep into the exhaust pipes so that every time the engine started, it would emit a high-pitched, hilarious chicken sound. To make the prank even crazier, he taped a string of loud firecrackers to the rear bumper so that as soon as the car moved, it would trigger a massive, shocking bang. When his friend and her sister got in and turned the key, the engine immediately started making strange, squawking noises. Confused and knowing nothing about cars, they popped the hood to check the engine, but assumed it was just a minor technical error and decided to drive off anyway. The second the car started rolling, the firecrackers went off with a series of massive pops. Terrified by the explosion, they jumped out of the car and sprinted away in a panic. That's when the owner finally ran out to his car, retrieved his vehicle, and claimed his victory. My sister got a tiny cute turtle as a pet and planned a wild prank on my brother. She loved playing with the little reptile and wanted to show him, but he's terrified of turtles and refused to touch it. While he was glued to his phone, I swapped the real turtle for a fake one and slathered ketchup all over it to look like blood. I set the fake turtle on the table fast. Next, I faked accidentally smashing it with a hammer. Wait till you see how he completely lost it. Subscribe for more chaotic sibling pranks. One day, I decided to pull an extreme kitchen chain reaction prank on my sister by sneaking up behind her and tying her shoelaces directly to a counter full of plates. While she was busy preparing food, she had no idea I was crouching right at her feet setting up the trap. I actually messed it up at first and had to struggle for a bit to make sure the knot was precise enough to work. Once it was finally locked in, I jumped up and jump-scared her right as she turned around. She gasped, but didn't take a step. To force her to walk forward and trigger the plate disaster, I pretended to fall flat on the floor and begged her to pull me up. She completely brushed me off, telling me I was a grown woman and could get up myself. Next, I grabbed her phone right in front of her face and threatened to look through her messages with her boyfriend. She quickly snatched it back, but still managed to stay perfectly balanced without moving her feet. Finally, I resorted to the ultimate method. I grabbed a handful of flour and threw it right in front of her face. Furious, she charged straight at me to get revenge, but the second her foot moved, this happened. We set up a giant, menacing cardboard cutout of a huge man holding a baseball bat directly behind her bench. To kick off the trap, my girlfriend walked by and purposely dropped a valuable item on the ground right next to her sister. The sister watched it fall, waited for my girlfriend to walk away, and then quickly snatched it up and stuffed it into her pocket. When my girlfriend returned and politely asked if she had seen the item, her sister flat out lied and insisted she didn't take anything. Frustrated, my girlfriend kept emphasizing how important it was, but her sister just doubled down and refused to give it back. Finally, my girlfriend warned her, "Fine, I'm calling my giant bodyguard," but her sister just laughed, thinking it was a total bluff. The exact second my girlfriend walked away, her sister turned around and came face to face with the massive cardboard thug. Drop a like to save her from the ultimate park scare. I decided to pull the ultimate mind-bending prank on my sister by convincing her she had literally time-traveled into the future. While she was fast asleep, we completely transformed the room into a beautiful wedding scene. When she woke up and saw the gorgeous decorations, our dad stepped into the room fully dressed up and scolded her for oversleeping on her big day. Shocked and confused, she thought she was dreaming and went right back to sleep. For phase 2, we brought in a neighbor's little daughter to make her believe she now had a child of her own.
回事啊？人孩子放学了。
She woke up, stared in absolute shock, and frantically told the little girl, "No, you're not my daughter."
哎，你说。
Terrified, she initially pulled away, but as time went on, the two actually started getting along pretty well.
接受了这个现实。
Later, she fell back asleep, and we initiated the final phase. We had a female friend dress up and wear makeup to look much older, pretending that decades had passed. When my sister woke up, she was completely traumatized, staring at her friend and screaming, "Who are you?" I hid my twin completely under a large pillow and stuck her hands out from under the blanket to pretend they were my feet. I draped the blanket over both our bodies to create the perfect illusion. When her boyfriend came over, I acted like I was sore and asked him for a foot massage. He started rubbing what he thought were my feet, but he immediately noticed they felt totally different. When he got suspicious, I just played it cool and told him, "Oh, my twin's feet are just naturally small. It's completely normal."
你媳妇儿脚不是小吗？一直你忘了？
After a while, he got distracted by his dog and turned away. My twin took the chance to crack the pillow open just enough to breathe, but we quickly went back into position. When he returned, he was so confused that he finally decided to pull the socks off to see what was going on. The second he peeled them back and realized he had been massaging hands the whole time, my twin popped up and screamed. I decided to pull an epic prank on my twin sister by dressing up in a bright yellow suit and hiding in plain sight. First, I jump scared my other sister while she was asleep on the couch. Instead of getting mad, she loved it and helped me set up a genius trap for her twin. She helped me get into position, pretending I was just a mini yellow sofa, and even helped me stick my hands out in a resting position so it looked totally natural. Once I was camouflaged, my twin sister walked in. My accomplice sister had intentionally made the big couch wet, so my twin would be forced to choose the yellow sofa instead. My twin was curious. She'd never seen this piece of furniture before, and started poking the tiny foam balls that were spilling out of me. She didn't suspect a thing, even when she saw the hands sticking out, and just started playing with them. After a while, she grabbed her hot cup of noodles and finally decided to take a seat. As soon as she sat down, I popped up, she tumbled onto the floor, and her noodles went flying everywhere. The mess was absolutely massive. One day, I decided to pull an epic prank on my friend by disguising myself as a mannequin she had just ordered. I stuck both of my legs out of a large delivery box, covered the rest of my body with mannequin parts, and waited for her to start the assembly. While she was busy working on the puzzle, she noticed my legs looked suspiciously realistic, but she was so focused that she just kept on working. I decided to crank up the tension by giving the mannequin head a slight kick, making it wobble. She paused, clearly confused, and started questioning why there were two heads in the box.
这可以帅得很，哎呀！
She kept right on assembling, even measuring the height of my legs compared to the torso.
哦，我知道了，那就
I was getting so tired of holding the pose, but I waited for the perfect moment.
哦，是哦。
Watch until the end to see the look on her face when I finally jumped out and scared her. One day, a girl decided to pretend she was becoming a powerful witch. She sat down on the floor, started chanting, and began making all sorts of spooky noises while objects around the room started shifting on their own. Her twin sister walked through the door, stopped dead in her tracks, and stared in total disbelief, convinced that her sister had finally lost her mind. The more the witch performed, the crazier things got, with books, cups, and decorations flying through the air and sliding across the floor. Give her a like if you find this magic gone wrong prank funny.